Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unlock some really profound insights from different sources, hopefully helping you see things in a new light. Today, we're diving headfirst into, well, a pretty fascinating spiritual text. It's excerpts from the Spirit's direction, Ezekiel's vision and surrender, and we're focusing on an Ezekiel 1 devotional. Our mission really is to pull out the key insights from this ancient passage, especially around these big themes of, direction and surrender. So let's get into it.
Yeah, and it's worth saying up front, this vision from Ezekiel, he was in exile in Babylon at the time. It can feel pretty strange when you first read it, almost otherworldly.
Definitely.
But that's sort of the point, I think, that the vivid, almost surreal imagery, it's there to teach us something really deep about divine guidance.
And the source we're using, it really highlights those details, pulling directly from Ezekiel chapter 1, specifically verses 15 through 28. Kicks off with this incredible picture. Ezekiel sees these living creatures, right?
Yeah.
And then, next to them, wheels.
Wheels, yeah.
And not just any wheels, but one for each of the four of them. So 4 creatures, 4 wheels. And the way they looked, like the gleaming of beryl, that's that, brilliant blue-green gemstone, it gives them this dazzling, kind of unearthly quality. But here's the bit that really makes you stop and think. The text says their construction was like a wheel within a wheel.
Yeah, that's a head-scratcher at first glance. And what's really fascinating is how they moved. The text is super specific. When they went in any of their 4 directions without turning as they went.
Wow. Okay, so perfect movement, any direction, no pivoting needed.
Exactly. Total efficiency. And it says their rims were tall and awesome. And maybe the strangest part, full of eyes all around.
Eyes everywhere.
Eyes everywhere. So this vision, it isn't just weird for the sake of being weird.
Yeah.
Every single detail seems to point towards something important.
And the source really emphasizes how perfectly synced up they were with those living creatures.
Yeah.
It says, when the living creatures went, the wheels went beside them. And when the living creatures rose from the earth, the wheels rose.
Right. It's this incredible, unified motion, almost organic, the way they move together.
Okay, so you have this complex, bizarre image. Wheels, creatures, eyes, moving in sync. What's the core message here?
Well, if we pull back a bit, despite all that complexity, the central truth is actually remarkably simple. It boils down to this. They don't move on their own.
They don't move on their own.
That's the key. And the source points to verse 20, which spells it out. Wherever the Spirit wanted to go, they went, and the wheels rose along with them, for the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels.
So everything moves only as the Spirit leads. That's quite a statement, especially today.
It really is. It challenges our whole modern idea of, being self-made, pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps, radical independence.
Oh, so?
Well, think about the wheels. The source calls them symbols of movement and direction, right?
Makes sense.
But they don't roll unless the Spirit leads. And the creatures themselves, these powerful beings, they were created to move with the Spirit.
Not on their own.
Exactly. They weren't meant to move independently. It doesn't matter how gifted, creative, or capable they were intrinsically. So it really makes you ask, if these incredibly powerful, divinely crafted beings operate under guidance, what does that suggest about our own push for complete autonomy?
Yeah, that's a challenging thought. And it ties directly into a key application point from our source material. It sets up this contrast. The world often tells us, follow your heart. But this passage, this vision, it invites you to follow the Spirit. So what does that actually mean in practice? How does following the Spirit change how we think about direction?
Well, according to the source, it means letting God be the one directing your steps. Not your own ambition, not your fears, not the pressure you feel from others, but God.
Okay.
And it suggests that, maybe counterintuitively, true freedom isn't found in just doing whatever we want. It's found in surrender. Oh. Yeah, but not surrender to our own desires, because let's be honest, those can be all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Fleeting, sometimes misguided.
True.
It's surrender to the Spirit of God, which is presented as reliable, steadfast. It's about finding this deep alignment where what we truly want lines up with divine direction. It's about finding peace in that.
And the sheer scale and majesty of the rest of the vision really underlines why that kind of surrender makes sense in this context.
Yeah.
To grasp the power of aligning our will, we need to remember the just incredible context of who Ezekiel was seeing.
Exactly. It wasn't just wheels and creatures in a void. Above them, the text says, there was the likeness of an expanse, shining like awe-inspiring crystals spread out above their heads.
Like crystal. Wow.
Yeah, suggesting purity, brilliance, maybe divine order, holiness. It sets the stage.
And the sound, you mentioned the movement, but the sound when they move wasn't quiet. It was like the sound of many waters, like the sound of the Almighty, a sound of tumult, like the sound of an army.
Overwhelmed.
Totally. It's meant to convey this immense power, a presence that just commands reverence. You have to pay attention.
And then, above that expanse, above the crystal, the likeness of a throne, in appearance like sapphire. A throne.
A throne, yeah.
And seated on it, a likeness with a human appearance. So this isn't just about mechanics. It's all happening before the very seat of cosmic authority.
And that figure.
Yeah.
The description is equally stunning. From what had the appearance of his waist upwards, Ezekiel saw something like gleaming metal, like the appearance of fire enclosed all around.
Radiant energy.
And then downward,
Yeah.
as it were, the appearance of fire, and there was brightness around him. Just imagine trying to take that in, the sheer radiant power.
And this incredible brightness, this aura, it was like the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud on the day of rain. You know, a rainbow.
The rainbow, yeah.
Which the text explicitly identifies as the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. It's the ultimate revelation in the vision. Breathtaking.
So faced with that, what does Ezekiel do? He says, I fell on my face, and I heard the voice of one speaking. Just complete awe, humility, surrender.
Yeah. Which brings us back to the application, right, for you listening now. The source poses these direct questions. Are there areas in your life where you've been moving without the Spirit's leading? Maybe going it alone? And then maybe more pointedly for this week, what would it look like to actually surrender your direction to God?
And the source also includes this line from a prayer about not moving ahead of you or lag behind. That sounds good, but practically, what does that look like day to day, especially when you're facing complicated choices? How do you tell the difference between the Spirit's leading and just your own hopes or fears? It can feel kind of abstract sometimes.
That's a really important practical question, and the source suggests the answer lies in learning to listen, to wait, and to follow.
Listen, wait, follow.
Yeah. It implies a certain maybe stillness, a willingness to pause, maybe check in, reassess, rather than just charging ahead or getting paralyzed by inaction. And the promise or the hope held out is that through that kind of active surrender, every step you take can become in sync with your will. It's really a profound invitation to a different way of operating, one that aims for a kind of peace and purpose that maybe goes beyond what our own plans can achieve.
So this deep dive into Ezekiel, it really does offer a powerful counter-narrative to how we often operate, doesn't it? You know, the world tends to celebrate relentless ambition, forging your own path. But this ancient text points towards something else. It talks about guided movement, about a deep power, maybe even a kind of freedom that's found when you actually surrender your direction. It's about letting a higher purpose, like a divine current, actually set your course.
Yeah. And maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. If even those incredibly complex, dynamic parts of Ezekiel's vision, the creatures, the wheels going every which way, the throne itself, if all of that moved in perfect harmony, guided by an external force, the Spirit, what might that reveal about the truest source of direction for your life, for the steps you take, tomorrow morning? Does real purpose come from just fierce independence? Or could it possibly come from finding that kind of alignment with a much larger, maybe wiser design? Something to think about.